Hey there, hockey heads. It's your buddy Choppadong, and I'm going to bring you an NHL video today, making things very, very simple, and I'm going to show you exactly how I do it when it comes to targeting the correct offenses on the slate. We've talked before about how hockey is a goal-driven sport, and all of the other stats don't mean nearly as much. They don't carry as much weight as a goal, so we should be targeting goals. Goals are more unpredictable than other stats like shots on goal, etc. But that's where the biscuit is delivered. That's where the roll is buttered. That's where you're going to get the bang for your buck. So if you chase goals, yes, you're going to have good nights, you're going to have bad nights, but generally speaking, you're going to be in contention on your good nights. And that's what we want, because we don't have to win a tournament every night. We just have to win a few along the way to make the overall endeavor profitable. Very, very simple, hyper simple. So let's kind of dive in. But if you're not familiar with me, thanks for tuning in. I'm your buddy Choppadong. I am a content creator, marketing coach, whatever, over at DFSArmy.com. One-stop shopping, all things daily fantasy sports. I'm a small ball legend. I don't really play a lot of big money. I'd rather take that time and invest it in helping you get better. And before that makes a stupid amount of sense to some of the snobs out there, let me explain to you something. I've been a very competitive golfer through my lifetime, and I have only had 2 professional lessons, both times delivered by a man named Marshall Smith, who also taught Chi Rodriguez and Craig Stadler. Marshall Smith couldn't shoot 80 if you gave him an eraser on his pencil, because the dude cared more about teaching you than he did playing and practicing himself. Okay, I have a very similar philosophy. I like to play, I like to keep in touch with the game, but I like to help you get better. If I've got $500 laying out there on a nightly basis, then I'm going to be paying more attention to my lineups than I am your questions when it leads up to lock, and I'd rather it be the other way around. My job is to make you better. That's my job. And so I'd like to offer that for you very, very simply by clicking the link in the description down there at the bottom, dfsarmy.com. Use the coupon code CHOP, C-H-O-P, get a 10% off discount for each and every month that you remain a member at DFSArmy.com. Football, basketball, baseball, hockey, NASCAR, golf, it doesn't matter. We offer pricing by the week, by the month, by the year. And we also offer pricing by the sport. We have a core 4 of sports that are the big sports, and then we have offshoots like MMA, NASCAR, League of Legends, and we have all sorts of sites that we cover, from FanDuel to DraftKings to Prize Picks to Super Draft. There's a whole bunch of stuff always going on at DFSArmy.com, and you're missing out. The value is there to get the coaching, get the feedback, and get the answers to your questions as you're learning new sports and as you're growing. So while we're learning new sports, let's jump back into the hockey discussion for just a second, and let me show you how to make your life easier. NHL.com is a free site, guys. Yes, I have a research station, and I have tools I have access to at DFSArmy.com that are absolutely out of this world amazing, and I'm going to keep those locked up for a little while. I may unlock them periodically for you guys, but I'm going to keep them unlocked or keep them locked up for now. I can take you to a free site, though, and show you some simple ideas. Goals mean everything in hockey, so chase goals. How do we chase goals? Well, we just leave the default summary page up here, do team stats, and sort by goals for per game played. We're getting to the point with 11 and 12 games some of these teams have played that I will actually start using filters and cut the back end off of these dates and keep these guys at around 10 games. That way I know who's kind of running well at the time as well and who's running cold. But I'm looking at teams like Montreal, Dallas, Florida, Toronto, Tampa. These are teams that I'm going to be stacking up almost each and every night because goals get scored regardless of matchup sometimes. I do like it, however, when they are playing against a team that allows a ton of goals, like Ottawa. 4.5 goals per game is a target. When somebody like Toronto matches up against Ottawa, I'm going to be there. Montreal last night, I'm going to be there. Yes, I know it didn't work, but it's worked 5 out of 6 times already this year. I've got the money to show it. I don't really care what happened last night. Regression, variance, it all happens on occasion. If you target these numbers, most times you're going to be okay. Now, all I have to do is take the goals for and add it up to the goals against of the opponent and get a score. So let's say I take 26, 2.6, drop the decimal, 26, add it up to New Jersey's against if Calgary was playing New Jersey, 2.7, that gives me a number of 5.3, right? 26 plus 27 is 53. There you go. My score would be 53. The higher the number, the better, because it shows a stronger offense matching up against a weaker defense. And the middling numbers are going to pan out. Now, I could get a middling offense against a very, very bad defense, and that might be the matchup of the night. I can get a very, very strong matchup against a very, very good defense, and that might be a middling matchup on the night. That's just how things work. And I can survey that and watch that and then target where I'm going to put my action. I also look at the offensive rank of the team. When I sort by goals for, I just want to know raw number. Are you number 1? Are you top 5? Are you number 30? What number are you? Should I be paying attention to you at all? I can do the same thing for power plays, because what I like to do is I like to take a look at okay, Dallas's power play is very, very strong. I can do goals for per game played on the power play, or I can just do raw power play goals. And I can see that in 8, 11, 12 games, it's all fairly equal. Dallas has 13 goals. Chicago has, they all have 14 actually. 30. I was looking at this column for a brief second, but they all have 14 goals. These are all good power plays, even Chicago. If you're going to stack them up, play the power play guys. Don't play line 1, line 2. Play the power play. Why? It's where Chicago's not a high-scoring offense this year, but their goals are coming off the power play when they do score. Target that, right? If I wanted to look at goals for per game, then I can get a little bit better idea of maybe anyone scoring a goal a game. Any of these top 10 teams are pretty solid. But what I like looking at mostly is the raw number, because I want to see, compared to your normal goal scoring, how many goals are coming off of your power play. Is it a great power play or is it not? If it's not a great power play, I'll just target lines 1 and 2. If it is a good power play, I'll target the power play 1 and 2. And that's how I'm going to set my stacks up in hockey. I'm going to be targeting the powerful power plays and then everybody else's top 2 lines. I don't care about line 3. If you were worth a shit, you'd be on line 1 or 2. Now, every rule has its exceptions. There are a few exceptions around the league, but generally speaking, those guys are also getting power play time. So if you're not on the power play, you're damn near dead to me, because your coach is telling me you're not one of the top 6 or 8 scorers on that team, or you'd be on the power play. I don't want you. I don't need you. You may score a goal here or a goal there, but you're not going to break a slate. 99 out of 100 times. I don't even need to worry about you. If you do break the slate, boom, tip my cap, move on to tomorrow. Good for you donkeys that played them. You were wrong. You just got lucky. I'd rather be good than lucky. And by being good, I'm targeting the goals and most importantly, where they're concentrated on what teams and where they're coming from. And they're coming from lines 1 and 2, power plays 1 and 2, and I'm targeting the powerful power plays. Okay? That said, let's dive into this number right here inside our Slack form. This is today's matchups. Here's your offensive rank. I just showed you how to find that. It's just right here over on the left-hand margin. Here's your team score. This is all the goals against added to the goals for added to the goals against. You can do this yourself. I'm not sharing top secret information where I'd have to kill you or I'd have to get your firstborn child's social security number or anything like that. I'm just sharing it with you because I just want to make you a better player. And I come up with these things and I think of these things all the time, and I talk with my guys inside the forums ad nauseum about how to become better players. If this is all you need, great, tail me for free. But if you want more and you want to talk more and you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, then you need to come inside and you need to get some coaching feedback. You need to get access to our tools. It's that simple. But today, the dark green wins. I've got Tampa Bay and Florida, 2 top 5 offenses with 2 big offensive scores going against Detroit and Nashville, a couple of lowly teams. I know Nashville won last night. I don't care. Probably won't win tonight. All I know is that if 2 teams are going to score the most goals on the slate, it's going to probably be Florida and Tampa Bay most of the time. If I ran this slate 100 times, the teams that are going to be the highest scoring teams on the night most often are going to be Tampa Bay and Florida. I'm playing the odds. I don't give a crap about anything else. You want to go target Philly? Be my freaking guest. More times than not, I'm going to outscore you. That's all I care about. I don't care if it happens tonight or not. I got another, 45 games of this year going. I'm cool. But here's what I'm going to tell you. There are other teams that you could supplement in. Would Detroit be one of them? Hell no. I'm largely sticking to green. I'm going to have Tampa Bay and Florida stacks. I'm going to have Tampa Bay and Vegas stacks. I'm going to have Florida and Vegas stacks. I'm going to have Tampa and Philly, Tampa and Boston, Florida and Boston, Vegas and Boston. I'm going to have all of these things mixed and matched. I'm going to target 2 or 3 on a slate this size, 2 or 3 main teams. And those main teams are going to be Tampa, Florida, and Vegas. Why? Highest numbers. Maybe Boston if I get down the road and decide Vegas might be rusty coming out of COVID protocol. But they're facing LA, who's not great. Boston and Philly have been going, I mean, those are really the top 6 teams on the slate. Everything else is kind of a wash. If you want to be super, super sneaky in some bigger tournaments, you might play a little bit of Anaheim. I might throw them in 5% of what I do, just in case. Because they're targeting a crappy team, and 2 bad teams usually lead to a shootout. So that's worth noting on a smaller slate, on an 11-game slate. I wouldn't do something like this. But on a 5-game slate, 5% maybe, something like that. I won't have any Detroit. I probably won't have any Nashville. Won't have any Vegas, unless they're one-offs. Because I want teams that can still score. Vegas 13th in the league, Philly's 11th. Philly's a little bit better, but you can't tell me Boston doesn't have a better matchup, than LA tonight. Right? These are the things that we can look at. These are the things that we can make our determinations by. So on the left side of my big stacks and my optimizers, I would have Tampa, Florida, and maybe some Vegas. I might set it 40% Tampa, 40% Florida, and then 20% Vegas. And then I'm going to target Vegas 1 and 2, maybe the power play. I'm going to target Tampa 1 and 2, Florida 1 and 2, maybe the power play, because they're scoring goals from everywhere. Boston, mostly targeting the power play. Philly's got an okay power play. And then these other guys down here, I've got to figure out where I'm going to go with them. But generally speaking, line 1, line 2, and nobody that doesn't serve power play time. You've got to serve on a power play. That's where I pick up my line 3 guys, is they're serving on the power play 1 or the power play 2. So I put them in the power play stacks. Pretty simple, right? And then the secondary stacks on the right side that I'll have maybe 25% tops exposure to: Boston, Philly, Tampa, Florida, Vegas, maybe a little bit of Anaheim. That's it. My day's done, guys. Now I can spend the rest of my time poking around in the optimizers and setting up how I want to set them up, how much weight I want to give. Do I want, if I see way too much of line 2 in there, do I want to decrease my projections on line 2 and increase my projections on line 1 so that I get a little more balanced shooting? It's a controlled shotgun style. I've got my offenses targeted. If they perform, I've done well. I'm not going to hang my hat on 80% exposure to a second line somewhere. And I'm not going to allow an optimizer to do that for me. That's the stuff you can also learn inside DFSArmy.com. When you come inside, get coaching feedback, plug in, learn how to use the tools. It doesn't have to be hard. Then you can go spend the rest of your day polishing your toenails for all I care. Go cut your grass in January or February. I don't care. Do what you got to do. But don't spend hours and hours and hours digging on this stuff just to come out losing $4.60. That doesn't make sense. Minimize your time. Make your time more efficient. Use tools. Use people that know. Get involved. That's what's going to make you a better player, and I'm the guy that can help you do that. So once again, come inside. Visit the link down there at the bottom, dfsarmy.com. Coupon code CHOP, C-H-O-P. 10% discount. Very, very simple. Like, subscribe to the video. Share me on social media. I'd love for you to do that. And get in here and start becoming a better player today. All right, guys. Friday. Freaky Friday, NHL DFS Friday. Hope to see you all on the top of the leaderboards. I know our Army hats will be there. Peace.